Welcome to Bodyology the Movement Podcast today, guys. We are getting into the life of Anthony. I kind of want to call you Tony during the
Don't. Tony is my dad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I told Rod about this, so I might still have to slip it in a couple times. We'll get more into him and all of the things about him. And we'll start it off with Ryan asking a nice little question since he nominated me to start the podcast.
Real mature. So I have a very unprofessional question.
What's up?
All right.
I'm kicking it right off the start. You can answer honestly. I'm not going to be mad. But did you steal your triple R tagline from Sacred Roots?
No, I did not. I made the triple R back in, I want to say it was like June or July 2019, and I didn't even get to know about Sacred Roots until like October of 2020. So no, I did not.
Hold on, what's Sacred Roots triple R?
Oh yeah, he doesn't even know about it.
Revive, restore, recover. I mean, come on.
Yeah, sorry. And then mine is really relax, recover. It's catchy. Having the 3 R's is very catchy.
Man, it is.
No,
it is.
It's good. I like it. I don't have a triple R. Maybe I should come up with one.
You need to add a triple R.
I mean, I already have 2. Rod Romelus. Might as well just add it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just add recovery at the end of that. You have all 3.
Rod Romulus Recovery.
There you go.
All right. Yo, that should have been my name.
That's for next week, right?
Yeah.
Ryan would have called you up. Ryan would have called you up and been like, "So, did you see what I did with my marketing?"
But on a serious note, Anthony, how did you get into this world of taking care of people?
I don't know. I've always been someone that likes to take care of people and always likes to help everybody. I've always been that kind of person. I was actually in school to be a doctor, and then I changed my mind and said, all right, I want to be a physician assistant because my wife convinced me. And then I was like, no, that's not for me, because I took organic chemistry and realized I suck at all that. One of my friends introduced me to exercise science, and I fell in love with it. I was like, all right, I guess like the whole rehab, physical therapy side is for me. And I realized I didn't want to go get a doctorate. And then I just, graduated. I got my bachelor's in exercise science with sports medicine, and I just kind of fell into place and kind of started going with some certifications, and then the company was born, and here we are. Nice. 2 years later.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Before we get further into some questions, if you'll just give us a brief rundown of your life again as well.
Yeah. So I'm 26. I graduated college in 2019. So 2 years ago. And, like I said, I was in school to be a doctor, and then I changed my mind, and then exercise science kind of just fell into place. I graduated in July 2020, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I was in the middle of planning a wedding, and I was either going to go to get my master's or do nothing. I don't know. I was really, really stressed. And I got lucky enough to take an internship at a really cool company. And they kind of taught me everything I know. So now I'm a certified corrective exercise specialist. I am a certified level 2 red cord instructor for active recovery, and also a level 1 fascial stretch therapist. So it's been pretty cool. Just I know, going to level 2 in October. Super excited. But it's definitely been interesting kind of seeing the whole dynamic of everything, especially since I didn't even know what I wanted to do. And now I have like this huge passion for it. It's crazy. My company's my baby, you know, I take care of it. I nurtured it and it's growing every day.
Exactly.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go the professional route, even though
God.
But I said professional.
I know.
But I'm gonna steal one of your original questions, Anthony. But what are some of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from them?
Oh man, my biggest failure, I think, has been not knowing what I wanted to do. It took me 6 years to do my bachelor's. I kept jumping around between careers. I went to 2 different universities, and I was focused too much on trying to, quote unquote, have the perfect job, the perfect career, that I wasn't focusing on what I wanted to do, and that was actually just help people. If I would have just decided that, I would have graduated a lot sooner. But I also feel that the decisions I made and jumping between school and major and struggling along the way, and unfortunately failing some classes because I was working 2 or 3 jobs at a time. I was just juggling a lot. I think my biggest failure was just not listening to what I wanted to do. I was too stressed about everyone's graduating in 4 years. Everyone's saying, you should do this, go for the big career, major in biochemistry, which was my first major. I don't know why, but I just did it, like
Oh my goodness.
if I would have just taken a minute and, reflected and really listened to what I wanted to do, then I feel like I would have accomplished a lot more faster. But, we live and we learn, and I learned so much from my mistakes, and here we are now.
Yeah, I actually made that same mistake. It took me 30 years to figure out that. Oh, not 30 years. What I'm trying to say is, it took me a while to figure out my path too. Like, just like you, I was in school to become a sports doctor or sports physician, and then I realized real quick that that's not the route for me. I might be smart, but I am not a great student whatsoever. So I ended up going the athletic training route and then the PTA route. So you just got to find what your niche is or what you like to do, rather than what everybody's pressuring you to do instead.
Right. For sure.
Give you a little secret. I'm much older than both of you, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So you might not have it figured out yet. Just throw it out.
And that's okay. That's okay.
That's right. That's all part of it.
With getting into this industry, did you feel like you had any preconceived ideas about what you would be doing, and how has that changed? Like, what do you feel like reality has kind of shifted that mentality into?
I thought I was gonna take over the world. I really did. I thought I was gonna have like this killer studio and in downtown Atlanta, and I was gonna be killing it. And then I got into it, and I'm like, man, this is hard. This is a lot of work. This is really, really hard to do it on my own. I have a business of just me. I am the owner, the founder, the marketing. My sister makes fun of me. She's like, "You're also the janitor and the everything." I'm like, yes. It's hard. But also it's really cool. I really enjoy it. So I look at you two and how you guys have really done Sacred Roots into something that's nice and big, and you have 2 people. That's awesome. The fact that you guys can both have really good careers and have a life and everything, and you guys are like helping so many people, and you guys have like sports teams and stuff. I'm so jealous. That's what I want.
I would say though that's an outside perspective. Like, I think
that's true.
More into it,
That's true. That's 100% true, because I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? It's totally different. Like, we all might, seem like we all have it together, but everybody has their own things, their own struggles. Business accounts might be not looking like we all want them to, and that's just how it is,
For real.
Yeah, sometimes that sweet rent hits in, and you're like, oh crap. Like, all right, let me pay for it. Like, it's different. I thought the business was going to be a little bit smoother. It was a slap in the face, and it's definitely not. And I needed to do a little bit more research, so that's what I'm doing now.
Kind of were hitting on it. What's one thing that you wish you had known when you started that you know now? Or what would you tell someone else that's starting now?
I would definitely tell them, don't use any of the money that comes in from the business at first. That's something that I was doing it, and obviously I had, instead of using it to kind of grow and only pulling a certain percent of that to, pay myself and stuff. I was using all of it. So it wasn't really giving me a lot of wiggle room to really grow the business as fast as I wanted to. That's what I'm doing now. Now it's to a point where I'm able to pay myself a weekly salary, and I have the business that keeps their money, keeps the money. But it's like, that's something I wish I would have done from the beginning. That I feel like would have definitely helped me be in a different position to where I am now. For sure.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I'm actually trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So let's say you make $100, right?
Yeah.
Well, the company made $100. Rod, you did not make $100.
Rod made
company
7.
made it. Rod, you can pay yourself 30 or 40% of that. So you and yourself made either, $30 or $40. The company made $60 or $70. So don't pull all your money from the account to pay yourself, because you have to pay. I don't know if you're going to have your own space, but you have to pay rent. You have to pay supplies. You have to pay certifications. You have to pay like a whole bunch of stuff. And if there's no money in your business account, then you're really not doing anything. Like, you're not moving forward. You're just kind of surviving.
Gotcha.
So you have to pay yourself less than what your company's actually making, because your company's what's growing. Then you're going to get into a position where you're a little bit more comfortable, and then you can start paying yourself a flat salary. Regardless if there's work or not, you just pay yourself a salary because there's money in the account.
Got it.
And put yourself on payroll, because being self-employed and trying to buy like grown-up shit just does not work really well. You have to prove a lot of things, and it's a lot more of a hassle. If you just put yourself on payroll and pay yourself, and give yourself a check and a check stub and all that other stuff, then it's so much easier for you to go buy things.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, put yourself on payroll, do it that way, and then you take owner's draws throughout the year. That way you can still live life normally and be a business owner. Something I definitely learned over a few
along
years.
the way, right?
Yeah, totally.
So
that I wish I would have known for sure right off the bat.
Yeah, you live and you learn. No one taught, like, for me personally, my family's all in the entrepreneurs, lifestyle and everything. Excuse me. But no one really, I don't want to say nobody taught me, but I never sat down and asked anybody, like, what should I do? Right. My godmother's an accountant. She was doing my taxes, and she's like, what the hell is this? I was like, hey, I messed up. I was like, fix it. And that's when she was like, okay, you need to separate this. I do have my own business account. That's something I did start right away. But it's the whole, you have to pay yourself a salary and make sure that the company's making a certain amount of money, but then you're making a lower percent of that. That way, when you want to buy stuff, like whether it be a computer for the business or a microphone for the podcast or all that stuff, it comes from the business account, not your personal account.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we'll definitely go into more of that.
Yeah, we'll have a financial episode.
Yeah.
So I think there's been a lot of growth. I think what has been the main source of that growth? Has it been education, or do you feel like connections, different things like that? What would you say is the biggest thing for you?
Define growth in what way?
As far as just something that pushes your company forward, pushes you forward.
So I'm a kind of person where everybody calls me a dreamer. I was like, oh, you're always dreaming that you want the G-Wagon or the Range Rover or the big house. Like, that's all material stuff, What pushes me forward is I actually want to help as many people as possible and have it in a way where it doesn't matter where you live or your social economical status or any of that stuff. Like, you have easy access to the care you need to kind of get you moving and get you living your best life, So I feel like that's really driving me. I really want to help a lot of people, and I see the difference that I make in the few people that I am helping now, whether they're older adults or athletes or stuff like that. And I get this instant, I don't know, just, it's like, what? This is why I, stay up at night studying so much and and all that stuff. And it's like, man, I want to help as many people as possible. I want to have a franchise. I want to be in different places. Like I have this big vision of how I want to grow the company. I consider myself very ambitious. I don't take no for an answer, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than what I want. I think I get that a lot from my family. So,
Sure.
That's what's driving me. Plus, I see my family and everyone, how they're all doing their businesses and how they're all growing. And I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. It's like, you see other people on social media, how they're all growing their businesses as well. And I'm like, yeah, small businesses have to support other small businesses. And it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's driving me big time.
We've done it with everybody. What is your ideal recovery day? You're taking a day for Anthony.
That's a good question. I had it on Tuesday. So,
okay.
Finally, I had a recovery day. Half of a day, anyways. I took the morning off. My ideal recovery day. Don't wake me up.
All right.
I want to sleep until I can't sleep anymore. And then I'm going to get up. I'm going to have my Nespresso, which I'm currently having. And I'm going to just sit there and drink my coffee and nobody talk to me. Nobody look at me. Nothing. Like I just want me in my bubble. And go get a massage, relax, and then go shopping. I love shopping, which is pretty funny. I can shop for days. I have so much clothes and shoes and everything. Like I want to go buy everything. Like I want to be in New York shopping with. If there was a credit card that had no limit, that's my perfect recovery day.
That is awesome.
And then come back, get another massage, take a hot shower, just lay in my bed and watch Netflix. Literally. That's it. And play with my dog. I can't say not play with my dog,
There you go.
And then have dinner with my wife. Like just me by myself all day. Like just recover. Just me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. I definitely get it, man. Like I'm one of those people that like leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody on my recovery day.
Yeah, like our jobs are physically demanding, but also they're very mentally demanding too. People don't realize that. You get home and you're like, oh God, this headache, this like the work was this, and you got to deal with this. Like it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think clients, once you have clients for a long period of time, years at a time, right? They start to see that because they'll notice. They'll be like, man, I felt like last time I saw you, you were a completely different person. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to explain to them, like, yeah, like this was going on, and I had 32 hours of people right before you. You were my last client on Saturday. You know what I mean? And I was just done. Like I didn't want to talk. I didn't, and then they come back and they see you earlier in the week and it's like, oh, maybe I should come in. I started getting clients that want to gauge the days they see me and the times they see me and things like that to keep up with their needs and that sort of deal. So
people they usually see me around 11 a.m., 12 o'clock, 2, 5, 6, and 7. Those are like my peak times.
Yeah.
Don't. If you want to see me at 7 a.m., you are not going to get the best thing. I'm going to tell you right now. You can book it, but you're not going to get the best me.
You will not enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
That's awesome. Well, we also need to get you a helicopter so that you can just fly up from Atlanta up to New York City and go shopping whenever you want.
What is this? Helicopter? No, I want a private jet.
Our Bodyology jet.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I love it.
Going off of what you said earlier about your really wanting to help people, that's why you're in this, and that's why we're all in this. What is your ideal client? Like, what do you like the best about your clients?
What do you mean, like the perfect client?
Yeah.
If you would have asked me this time last year, I would have told you my perfect client would have been, just a regular person that works a lot and all this stuff. Now, I really like working with athletes, which is really, really interesting. I never thought I would like working with athletes. I don't know. They're just like they're a different breed, man. Like, you tell them something and they'll do it. Like, they're determined. They get it. They understand the importance of going to see you either twice a week, every other week, once a week, whatever. Like, they're determined and they understand it because they're in there for competitions or whatever they are. So I really enjoy working with athletes. Right now, I work with CrossFitters and gymnasts. So I'm one of my offices is actually in a gymnastics studio. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Athletes, man, they're killer. And so you have to tell them, like, take a day off. Then
yeah, exactly.
Then
your words fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, then they're like, yeah, sure, and then they get hurt, and you're like, yeah, well, I told you, so it is what it
is. How do you stretch gymnasts?
Huh?
How do you stretch gymnasts?
You'll be surprised. They're actually not as flexible.
Oh, no?
So depending, so right now, usually the gymnasts I'm working with, they're between the ages of 13 and 17.
Oh, right on.
Oh, also in swimmers. I don't know why they really like me. That's cool. I love them. So with gymnasts, they're gonna typically go more towards either lean towards their left or lean towards their right because they're gonna have like their starting leg, their power leg, all that stuff. So it's actually looking at what movements they're struggling with and then kind of doing some corrective exercises and then stretching the opposite sides. So what a lot of parents do when they bring their children is they actually record them as they're practicing, or if they're like on a competition or whatever, they'll bring me the video. We'll sit down, we'll watch it. And then I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's too tight or what's not activating or whatever. We work on it and then they go and do it again. And then it's like perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just trying to figure out what's firing, what's not firing, what's too weak, what's too tight, and then kind of just manipulating it a little bit. So it's a guessing game. That's the really fun part.
Yeah, that's really.
But yeah, they're super flexible. It's like, dude.
Yep.
Also, and they have 6-packs. I have like 15-year-old kids that come in here with 6-packs. I'm like, hey, crazy.
Genetics.
Yeah.
Just blame the genetics. Also, one thing that I've noticed, I have a few people that are like super flexible, and it's just messing with the angles. At some point you'll hit something that's like, let's say you're stretching your hamstring, but you can get your leg behind your head. If I either turn the leg a little bit or bring it out to the side, I'll get something. You just have to mess around with it, and that helps. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because they're not moving in 360, They're moving at a certain degree of angle only. Like you said, you throw them in a different way, and they're like, what is that? They're not used to that. It's like, hold up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Flexible at the point where they're using muscle activation to get to that range, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I have been wanting to ask this question, and I am sad that I haven't asked anybody before this. But do you feel like there's been a client or a session that has changed how you practice? Like whether that was a good experience or a bad experience? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes.
Thank you for that comment.
I've had 2.
Okay.
I had one guy. I'm actually currently still working with him. He was in a kayaking accident, fell right on his rotator cuff. And that was about a couple of months ago. I want to say it's like 10 months ago now. So he hasn't been able to like work out, play with his kids, even put on his shirts and stuff because it just hurts him so much. So he tried physical therapy. It wasn't helping. Just, everything. So I started working with him a little bit and just seeing the slowly gradual change in him and how his spirit is just coming back to life and he's able to do certain things. And he comes in every week just so excited to try something new. And, he doesn't even question it anymore because he's getting the results and he loves it. So he's really changed me in the way of just remembering that they are people that are trying to do certain goals. We do everything and sometimes we forget just how easy it is to tie your shoes, So that's really impactful. That's one of them. The second one is I'm working with a client who has cancer. That one's a tough one. It's just kind of helping her with reducing pain and, just kind of helping her with all that stuff. And the last one, which is the most impactful one, I have actually been working with her since I started 2 years ago, is a stroke survivor, 2-time stroke survivor. She can't move anything on her left side. So we've been working with just gaining range of motion and all this stuff. And now she's able to walk again. Not 100%, but she has some sort of a gait going on. We still are trying to focus a little bit on that. But there's times where she would come into the office and she would not want to do anything and she would just cry. And I'll just have to be there listening to her because she needed to vent. And, she's 40-something, 50-something. And she had her first stroke when she was 25, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah. So just, it's been her whole life and just her having to vent sometimes. And it's really shown me that we have to treat each person that comes in very differently. Whatever session that just was, you have to completely kind of put it to the side because the next person on your table is going to have their story, their issues, their everything. But yeah, it's been crazy. That same stroke victim invited me to her baptism because she's like, I'm going to get baptized and I want you there. You've been a game changer. She gave my wife and I Christmas presents. Like, we've been a huge part of her life and she's been a huge part of ours. So yeah, I actually think about her like every single time I'm working with someone because it's just, awesome. It's crazy. You just never know. Yeah. So those are my 3 main ones.
Yeah. I love that. I think clients sometimes come in and they think, oh, like, this is going to change how my body is or change how my day goes or week goes or whatever. But they also leave an impact, right? Like, they're
right.
Changing how we are as well.
100%.
Who is your 3 most influential people?
Okay. Number 1 is my mom. Single mom since she was 25. Raised my sister and I, and she did it all on her own, and it was hard. She had a village of her family and stuff, but she gave up everything for us and worked her ass off every single day and just showed us what it means to be independent and just hustle. And yeah, days are tough, but you know what? You just got to keep going because it's going to get better. She taught me everything I know, how to be a great person, how to be compassionate, how to just understand people and really, really help people. So she is definitely my role model, my most influential person and everything. The second one is actually my grandmother, my mom's mom. She was the woman that made the decision to bring all of her children to America single-handedly by herself. She said, screw this, we're leaving. And she came over here and hustled. And our family is the family we are today because of her. She taught everybody how to be independent. Something that's really crazy in my family that a lot of families don't have is every female in my family is a business owner, which is crazy. So
super cool.
Yeah, the husbands have businesses, but the females do as well. And they're their own CEOs, and they don't take nothing from anybody. They do their own thing. My grandmother's the same way. She does not take BS from no one. And I think the last one would have to be my sister. She probably doesn't know it, so she'll probably hear it right now with the podcast. But my sister got pregnant when she was 17. So she had a hard life ahead of her. She overcame mental illness, postpartum depression, abusive relationship. She's a single mother of 2. And she has been hustling and bustling ever since day one. She is crazy, annoying as hell. We always fight, but it's those 3 women that you could just tell it's a generational thing. My grandmother, my mother, my sister, that it's like, what? Like, you just see this independence and this ambition and everything. It's just, just shows me every day, like, we're going to keep going. We're going to get better by generation and generation. We're going to keep hustling for sure.
I love how you talk about them. It's
yeah.
Not many people, I feel like, have that strong emotion towards like so many generations of their family. So.
Yeah. We always were taught to be close. My parents got divorced when I was 4. Yeah, 4. And it's something that's still really interesting. The fact that, and for us, it's just normal because it's been our whole life. But like now that my wife's part of our family and she comes to like the cookouts and stuff, she's been the one that's really kind of put a light in it and kind of made me realize like, wow, this is something special. Yeah. It's my mom, my dad, and my dad's wife, my stepmom. All of the kids, so there's 6 of us, we can all sit together, have lunch. The grandkids are playing together, and it's like a normal conversation. There's no like, you know how some parents can't see each other after the divorce and they can't stand seeing the step parent and all this. Like, no, seeing the relationship my mom and my stepmom have is actually really interesting. They, you know, they're like friends. They made sure that their kids are all the center of the world and everything revolves around them, you know? They're like, whatever issues we might have, it doesn't matter. It's about the kids. And that's something that they taught us. And I guess we all carry that and we don't realize it. We forget that that's not normal. So when we have like friends that come from divorce homes too, they're like, what? Why is your mom here? Like, why is your dad here? Like, I don't know. It just is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely different. I'm blessed.
That's awesome to have that family dynamic. Like you just said, most people with walking into that situation would be like, what is going on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different for sure.
I know you said you wanted to take over the world, but where do you see yourself going with, I'm going to get a Stretch Plus, right?
Yep.
All right. I almost said Stretch X again.
Ran by Tony.
Where do you see Stretch Plus going in the next couple of years? Like, what is your goal?
Yeah, so I definitely want to have a franchise at least going on here in Atlanta. You know, have at least 4 or 5 locations where it's specialists that are all trained under me and they know everything that I know, which is not a lot, but hopefully I know more. But yeah, I definitely want to have that. And I want to have this really cool environment where it's like sports enhancements, where I'm doing like sports conditioning, but also doing like the rehab side of it and adding some corrective and stretch. And, you know, it's just like this really, really cool environment that you walk in here and you don't feel intimidated by the person standing next to you. Even if that person is a professional athlete for the NFL or one of the soccer teams here, it's all equal. Everyone's equal there and it doesn't matter. And I also want a safe place for all of the employees where there is no, because I know that there's some places out there that treat their employees like crap and I do not ever want to be that boss. So I want to have like this just really cool, relaxing environment.
Nice.
Yeah, Atlanta's huge. I don't know if you guys have been here, but there's a lot of places where you can put these studios and they're expensive. So yeah. So hopefully I can at least have like 3 in the next, couple years.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Still haven't been, but I'll visit one.
I know. You need to come through, man.
Yeah, you're not that far, honestly.
No, it's a couple of hours.
A little more than a couple of hours.
I was just thinking, I was like, well.
It's like a 6-hour drive, but hey, it'll be worth it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Hang out for the weekend.
For sure.
With all of the career stuff, with wanting to franchise and all of that, what is one myth that you feel like people need to know about with this industry?
Oh, God.
As you expand.
Not every person that's stretching you knows what they're doing.
Oh, my Lord. Yes. Preach.
Yes, Lord. Without saying names to these companies, they're all over the place. And there's a couple of places where I've looked at and I'm like, I literally want to put my studio right next to theirs and just show the difference.
Oh, man.
But no, like there's a particular way of doing it. And I feel like the industry is getting a really bad rep because of these companies on how they're not training their quote unquote practitioners the correct way or stuff like that. So I feel like we as a group here need to really kind of break that barrier and kind of educate the population a little bit more, the importance of the recovery, the importance of proper stretching, and having someone that's knowledgeable at doing all this stuff on you. Because it's actually really easy to really screw someone over. And then they're worse off than they were before they saw you. So definitely. I think we should all be sharing that same myth.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till you just said it, but that's seriously a good one.
I feel like all of our myths we could have a full episode on. We can just talk about because there's a lot of them, and then there are also very detailed subjects that we can get into
for sure.
What would be a goal personally in your life that would be obtainable through having the success that you have with your business, right? So personally, what's something that you want out of what you're going to do professionally?
That's a tough one.
I feel like we forget about that a lot, right? Like
we do. There's a reason why we're doing everything. You know, besides the fact that, I want to help everybody and all that fun stuff. Also, which I feel like a lot of people aren't too honest about it. So I'll be one of the first ones. I don't want my family to worry about money.
Yeah, sure.
I want generational wealth. I want a legacy. I want something that's big. A lot of people probably won't be as honest to say it, but a little bit of us always go into the business and always start businesses because you want that, wealth and flexibility and comfort. So yeah, I'll say that. I want comfort. I want to be able to provide an amazing life to my children. I was giving an amazing life, and I want to grow a little bit more on that and provide an awesome life to my kids and my nieces and siblings and parents and my wife, and just for them to not have to worry like we did growing up.
I think we've all come from backgrounds of a little bit of hustle, and so I think there's all a little bit of that.
It's a little bit of that motivator that get us going. It's like I want to be able to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's the first. Yeah, I guess the mortgage got taken out. I didn't even notice that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just different.
Ryan and I were talking about this the other day. He was like, I filled up my gas tank and I didn't look at the price. Like, oh yeah, like that is a big deal.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When everybody started talking about this gas shortage and gas went up 35 cents, I was like, man, I haven't looked at a gas price in fucking 2.5 years. Like, and a lot of that is my commute is like 6 miles. A tank of gas lasts me
forever,
way too long.
Right.
So that's another part of it too, is I don't have to worry. But yeah, it's those little things like that you start not to worry about that, and you start to like worry about bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
It's this weird transition. But yeah, that's huge, and that's something that I hope to be along your journey of being able to do that. I think that'd be cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
How much can that security free up brain space, right, for all of the other more important things, right?
Totally.
All of
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, and going back to what Kaleah said about like perception, right? Like it's the graduating steps of things. Like we think somebody's somewhere, but behind their closed doors, it's like, well, we gotta fight through those things and get to that, so you can get to the reach where you really want to be, and where you really take where other people see you at. Yeah. So,
and money's always a big.
We're masters. We're masters at faking it, guys.
Yes.
Work with people. Absolutely. You have to be.
I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, and I know Atlanta and Florida are like neighbors. So what do you have against Florida, man? Like, we're on the same coast. We're right next door.
Jealousy.
Okay. Is that just, are you saying that, or is that the truth?
No, it is like not all Florida, just the Panhandle. I don't know why. I just don't like the rest of Florida. It's like whatever. But the Panhandle, one of my dreams is to own a beach house at Panama City.
That's the Panhandle city you chose, Panama City.
Yeah, I go there every year. Ever since I was a kid, we've been going there every year. So
they're better cities.
Well, yeah, it's whatever. No, I really don't like the heat. I don't like Florida. I don't know why. I feel like everyone's like, oh, Miami. I'm like, you guys are just, guys, move on. There's other cities. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend
And the funny part is, I grew up going to Florida every year.
Really?
We went to Orlando. We went to Miami. I've gone to St. Augustine, which I loved. Destin, Panama. Like, I've been in Florida. I like those cities. I just don't like Florida. I don't know why. It's nothing against Florida. It's just weird. I don't know. I was in West Palm Beach in October and November, and it was cool. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm in Florida.
Maybe it's
you're just a hater.
Maybe it's a collective energy thing. Like I didn't know anything when I moved to Kansas City, but since I've been here, I hate Kansas, and I don't know anything about Kansas, but like there's just this strong hate living in Missouri.
Nothing to know.
There's nothing to know.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just a collective thing. Like everyone in Georgia is like, nah, fuck Florida. We're not.
Yeah, I feel like we are.
So I like Florida mostly because it's my layover spot for getting to the Caribbean, right?
Nice.
Makes
like
sense.
It's a good place as long as I get my islands.
My favorite states: California, Texas, New York, Tennessee.
Oh. Okay.
Tennessee. Why Tennessee?
Because it's mountainous. It has Nashville. I've never been, but it has Nashville. I'm a country fan.
Why not like Colorado? Colorado's mountains are like one of the
I've never been, so I can't say if I like it or not.
Okay.
What? Country fan?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know this about you.
I didn't know that?
No.
Well, I'm a huge country. I'm a Southern boy. What's wrong with y'all?
I don't know. Start a podcast together if we knew this.
Yeah, I love country music. If I had the option to be able to move to a different state, I would be living in Nashville, Tennessee right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Rod and I are picking the concert we're seeing in Phoenix.
Yeah, I know.
There's only love. There's only love. All right. Is there anything else you would like to add or speak about before we wrap up our episode 4?
I think the most important thing is, if you're getting into the industry like we're in, remember your why. Remember why you're doing it. Don't let other people discourage you or social media get in the way of everything. Just focus on you, do you. Remember to just help people in the most purest way possible. Don't stress about it, and everything else will just fall into place. Just gotta trust it. Trust it. That's it. That's my advice. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
This is why we're friends. I always say that.
I know.
Oh man. Well, it has been awesome to get to hear more about you, even though you're a country fan.
Oh, whatever.
Covered that little nugget. But it has been awesome, and we are so happy to. I feel happy to have met you. I don't know about you two. I won't speak to that. But
he's all right.
Yeah,
He's all right.
Yeah. Pretty good.
So that concludes episode 4 featuring Anthony. And next episode, we will be talking more about small business and getting more into all of the nitty-gritty with that. So
yes.
Join us for that.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.